Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Fran. In this channel, I share knowledge and practical techniques on trauma healing and everything about mental health. This video is the third video of a series of videos of core beliefs to work on in order to overcome fear of abandonment. The first one is on core belief that everybody abandons me, and the second one is that people will hurt, use, or abuse me. And this one is gonna be about emotional deprivation. This evolves around the loneliness that we constantly feel. We feel like nobody's trying to understand us and nobody's gonna be there for us, and we're gonna be alone for the rest of our lives. Those core beliefs were originally brought out by the book Love Me, Don't Leave Me by Michelle Skin, and I worked on overcoming each and every one of those core beliefs under the guidance of my therapist. So today I wanted to show you the workbook questions in overcoming this core belief and some sample answers from mine, because I think it helps you understand how to work on it in overcoming your distorted thought. So let's jump right into it. Some typical thoughts from this core belief are: I feel lonely, I don't get the love that I need, I don't have anyone in my life who really cares about me or meets my emotional needs. I don't feel emotionally connected to anyone. Because of this core belief, we're super sensitive to people's behaviors. Every change in their behavior, for example, a delayed response or a tone that conveys kind of impatience, we feel like, well, they are signs that those people are not really wanting to stay in our lives. They're trying to leave us. And we feel like, well, after all, nobody is making efforts to stay in my life. Nobody's trying to be there for me, to meet my emotional needs. Nobody really cares about me. One thing particularly unhelpful is the strategy we use. When we sense that people are trying to leave us, even though it's just a tiny bit of signal that probably they're upset themselves, they're preoccupied themselves, so they show this impatience towards us, and then we take it personally, and then we would do things like we push them away, we try to cut them off, and we show this aggression and hostility towards this person, which just further pushes them away. We become isolated because we're trying to protect ourselves from investing too much in this specific person. We just wanted to cut them off before people abandon us. So we try to withdraw. So we try to stay in our own bubble and be drowned in sadness and in depression. And this kind of cycle just enhances itself, because the more we feel depressed, the more we withdraw. And the more we withdraw, the more we feel isolated, which further proves the point that when nobody's trying to be there for us and nobody wants to love us or care about us. Now let's look at the questions we have to work on in cutting off this vicious cycle. The first question is, how do you want people to behave so you could feel that they care about you and try to understand and meet your needs? How do you communicate your expectations? Like the first two videos, I wanted to list out specific standards, specific expectations that you have towards other people in order for you to feel that you're loved and cared for. A lot of times, people in our life, they're trying to show their love and affection towards us in their own way. Maybe not exactly like how we expect them to behave, but we actually dismiss all those signals. We dismiss the positive aspects from those intentions, those behaviors, because we feel like you're not doing things, you're not behaving the way I expect you to. So even if you give me something, it's not what I want, so you don't understand me, you never try to understand me. And we start to have this anger and hostility towards the other person, even though we really wrong them because they're doing things their own way to show that they care and love us. Here's my answers to this question. Check in to see how I am doing and show care and gushing love to me every day. Remember important facts about me, things I said, and check how they are going. Attentively listen to every word I say and respond to me in a way that I expect you to. Whenever I say something, I usually have an underlying agenda, usually to get compliments, validation, or comfort. Always respond to me in a caring, gentle, and comforting and encouraging way. They should never reject my needs or criticize me in any way. They should always manage meeting my needs. If they fail, at least they should show that they have gone extra miles and did their absolute best, and show that they feel bad for failing to meet my needs. They should know what I want and initiate things voluntarily to meet my needs, instead of me asking them to do so. Instead of telling me about themselves, his/her attention should always be about me. They can tell me how they're doing only if I ask. Never throw a temper tantrum, show intense negative emotions, or any sort of complaints, because it makes me feel scared, unsafe, and don't know how to deal with them. It makes me feel like I'm being used as a trash can for people to vent instead of someone they care and love. Offer to spend time with me at times of vulnerability. When I was reviewing my own list, I realized that I was basically setting people up for failures because they were like a mission impossible. Like I couldn't understand, I couldn't figure out what I am thinking all the time. And I change constantly. Like how do I expect people to do this for me? And plus, for people around me, like they are really nice people in my life. Like coworkers, my friends, and like my uncles and aunties who adopted me when I was very little. They did do their best to meet my needs, but I never felt loved. I never felt satisfied. And I believe they are definitely my contribution to this problem because I expect them to fail me. I'm walking around this world in reality while I'm still carrying heavily those helpless, hopeless, and sad and depressed feelings from the past when I was 4 or 5, 7 years old. But it's actually quite unfair if I never directly express what I want, how I wanted to be treated, how I expect you to behave. People would go about and do whatever they wanted to do in their own way, but they never knew what's going on. They are confused as hell. Like they don't understand what's going on with me because I never communicate my feelings and standards to them. And if they fail to meet my mental standards, well, you have failed the test. In order to let go of our unhelpful filter system, in order to let go of our defense, let's go over the second question. Let's go back to the roots. Who made you feel unloved and unwanted in the past? Who disappointed you in failing to meet your expectations? Who has rejected and shamed your needs, and how does that make you feel towards yourself? Children, they were born with the needs to be cared and loved for, and every child is a precious little being. And they were meant to be taken care of instead of being trashed, being rejected, being thrown away. I feel like whenever I think about this, it's just so sad because a lot of us, we feel like it's not okay to have our individual needs and wants. We weren't born with this idea. We were born with the natural need to cling to our parents for physical and emotional needs, for survival. But somehow, in the process, we learned that it's not okay to have those needs. We rejected them because we learned that, well, it makes daddy unhappy. It makes me seem annoying to my mom. So we learned to suppress those needs, but those needs just don't go away. We still carry them from our childhood. So we project it onto whoever is present and use them to fulfill those unmet needs and wants in the past. So when reviewing the history that we have, we're trying to get a better sense of, well, maybe it's not about this person in front of me. Maybe it's not about their attitude or tone. Maybe it's not about me being overly sensitive towards anyone, anything. Maybe it's not about me trying to make a fuss. It was just that our needs, our born right to be met with those needs, is taken away long time ago. And we haven't realized that, well, it's not our problem, it's not our fault. This is my sample answers. If you're interested, you can pause and read it through. It also might give you a clue on how to answer this question, but you can do whatever format as long as it's true to you, it speaks your truth. The third question is that who in your present is caring and emotionally available for you? What are some proofs that they are trying to understand and meet your needs and make efforts in staying in your life? I wanted to find as many proofs as possible because it helps bringing everything subconscious to your consciousness so that you realize that, well, maybe I actually did something. I actually contributed to part of the problem of people leaving me. Maybe I actually intentionally withdraw. I push people away when I feel like they don't meet my needs, even though I haven't clearly communicated my standards. Include as many people as possible as well, like your coworker, your friend, your neighbor, your roommate, just your teacher, professor, whatever. Try to identify the tiniest hints that they are making efforts. They are trying to show that they care. The more you do this exercise, the more it helps you to build this gap between the actual event and your interpretation and your automatic behavior. In this gap, you're giving yourself this chance to cultivate this ability of coming up with alternative explanations, of looking at things in different perspective instead of the pre-assumed one that they are trying to leave you. And you will learn to take your thoughts less seriously because, well, all those thoughts were old, recycled pattern from the past. They're not in reality. When you have this space, you are taking control. Thoughts don't have much power over yourself. Alright everyone, I hope this video is helpful. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. If you wanted to see more videos like this, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.